live. Welcome, ladies and gents. Greetings and salutations to all the gamers here present at Matt Likes Games. Welcome, buddy. Welcome.
You
Uh,
got it. Matt
this
likes
is
games.
this is episode 18 of Bullsitting on They Said We Said. This week we have the usual panel of Ham Solo. Say hello.
Yo,
Cozy
Hi. Look.
and our special guest is Gendo was right. He's usually right, FYI. Before we get into it, Gendo, what have you been playing this week?
Mostly old stuff. I've been
Oh,
trying
old
out,
games.
Blade Runner Enhanced Edition, some Quake and Doom, and all that fun stuff. Some RTX Quake. So nothing really new. I sprained my ankle, so I can't play Gran Turismo
No,
unless
get a
you use
new
a
foot.
controller.
Get a new
Oh.
foot.
You can't play with a
Fine.
controller?
No,
Oh,
I
you
can play
choose.
with a controller, but I don't want to. So
Okay. Roger
I've just gotten used to the wheel, so now I don't want to unlearn that muscle memory. So I have to wait until my ankle is better.
All right, roger that. Cozy, what have you been playing this past week?
Naraka Blade Point.
Ooh,
A lot of Naraka Blade Point.
boo,
okay.
Don't
Did you say
hate.
boo, Ham? You're not feeling?
boo.
It's
Ham is
actually
not a
like
fan of Naraka.
I kind of understand, like, people like this style of game because normally it's not something that I would have ever touched, and I just picked it up, like, let me test this on the cloud, and I was like, I think I'm having fun.
Right.
Cozy,
Okay.
What the hell is that background you got going on? It looks like you stuck in the Psychonauts world.
I'm in space! Or Psychonauts, either way. I
It's
like it.
funky. I like it. It's
Yeah,
funky.
it's funky. See?
I just looked over and I
I-
seen a mushroom moving, and I was like, "What the hell is going on?"
Ham, what have you been playing this past week?
Oh man. So I beat Homefront 2.
And you're booing me.
Oh man, that was fantastic. That was the best $2 I spent. So I ain't got no problem. I'm boo away if you want to. That's cool. But I
I
thoroughly
did
enjoyed
buy
that
it.
game. And what was that? I also been playing Uncharted Lost Legacy. I played several hours of that last night. I watched The Boys. I watched that whole season.
Oh,
Fantastic.
did you?
It was
Did that
fantastic.
that episode, the
Let's
Tiny
spoil it
No
Man.
up,
spoilers,
Yeah.
please.
Let's
Please,
spoil it.
no spoilers, please. I still
No
haven't seen it.
spoilers. That's not a spoiler. You won't know if you haven't seen it.
What was the spoiler, Cozy?
The Tiny Man.
Oh
The Tiny
my
Man?
god, dude, that shit was wild. That shit was out of pocket.
Kendall, have you seen The Boys? Have you seen the latest season of The Boys?
No. I watch it with my wife, so we're gonna coordinate to watch season 3. I've only seen up to the end of season 2.
Yeah,
Okay.
the whole
Nice.
season's done
So-
now, so you guys can go through and
Yeah.
watch it.
All right,
Exactly.
so-
That's sort of
But that
waited
was
for
like
it.
the warm up, and then it just stayed on fire like the rest of this. Oof.
All right. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Let's not bury the lead, ladies and gents.
Uh-oh.
God of War
Woohoo!
Ragnarok is coming out on November the 9th for PS4 and PS5
And Xbox.
in a parallel universe. Gendo, are you excited for God of War Ragnarok? And are you getting it day one?
No and no.
What?
Yeah, no,
Let's
I
go.
stopped caring. I stopped caring about God of War after they made God of War 3. So I was not a huge fan of the 2018
We're not going to
reboot / sequel.
Attack him. We're not
No,
going to attack
dude.
him.
Dude, I need you to no, give us context. Tell us why the hell What?
He
it's not.
said
It's not
why
such
he's not a
a.
fan.
Dude, and
It's not
Gendo,
a. It's.
No.
I'm sorry,
I'm a
Gendo.
huge fan of God
Wow.
of War
Go
1,
ahead.
2, and 3, and Ghost of Sparta and Chains of Olympus. Those games are awesome. But what they did with the new style of God of War games, not really for me.
See, he just doesn't like it. Don't
Is it
come for
over
him.
the
Let him not
shoulder,
like it in
or is it
peace.
the story and setting? Is it the gameplay, or is it
No,
the
no,
story?
actually, you
What
know
turns
what
you off?
the story and stuff that's pretty awesome. But I'm not, as you say, the gameplay doesn't really grab me. I don't feel like I want to go. That gameplay loop doesn't pull me. So the everything, the story, the characters, all the non-game stuff is pretty cool. But when I play that game, I'm sort of wishing it was a different kind of game. I'm not crazy
Yeah,
about the actual gameplay. Like
you heard it first,
it's
ladies and
okay,
gents.
it's okay, it's
Hey,
okay.
Gendo was right. Says God of War gameplay is mid, starting from 2018 forward.
stop putting
What?
words in his. When I'm the one
Wait,
defending
I need a
you
minute.
know
I
there's a
need a minute.
problem. I swear.
I'm muting myself. Cozy, go
Let
ahead.
him not like it in Pete. I think it's great for those who like it, but I stand with like Gendo. I kind of just like, the old stuff, and I'm kind of like
It's
not
a
really
hot
into
take,
it anymore.
right? It's
But
a
I mean,
hot take.
that was already
You guys
known.
are
Like,
starting with hot takes at the beginning, right?
I
At
mean,
the start.
this is not a new This is not a new thing for me. Like, just it's not. It's
It's
like good
like
for those who are interested in it.
Okay,
when
Cozy.
you have a favorite band and your band changes genre completely.
Yeah.
Um, it it's like when Linkin Park stopped being Linkin Park after like a couple of albums. They just became an entirely different genre of band. I'm like, well, I wasn't listening to you because of who you are. I was listening to you because of the music you make, and now you make different music. So, I mean, I don't hate it, but I'm not interested either. So it's sort of like that.
Okay, I can vibe with that. Like, I love
Look,
Kanye, and then
let
when
it
Yeezus came out,
go.
I was like,
Let
ew.
it go.
Oh my god. Okay.
Well,
Uh,
see,
the panel.
let's use another game. Let's use another game as an analogy. There's a new Valkyrie
Yeah.
profile game coming out, and they're changing the original Valkyrie profile was a turn-based game, kind of. It's like a mixed genre kind of thing, and now it's a straight-up action RPG. So I don't know exactly, but it's going to be more like Nier Automata or something. And
Is it
and
automata or is it automata?
It's however he wants to say it.
I'm not sure which
His
one's
truth, ne?
the right pronunciation.
Live
I've
your
always said
truth.
automata.
Live your
So
truth, Kendo. Live your truth.
it's one of those words that you read but you never hear. So people say it differently.
Okay,
Anyway,
wait. Okay, go ahead.
so the genre of, or even a better example, I am a big fan of Fire Emblem, but I don't care about
Ooh,
Fire Emblem
ooh.
Three Hopes because it's a Muso game and I don't like Muso games. So just the fact that it's Fire Emblem alone is not enough to make me spend money on it. I want a turn-based strategy RPG. I don't want a Muso game. So if you reskin a Muso game with a franchise I like, it doesn't mean I'm going to care about it. But I like Doom RPG because I like RPGs and I like Doom. So things have to line up for me to really be into it.
Okay, before I send out this tweet, Ham, please give me your feedback on God of War Ragnarok. Are you excited? Are you getting it day one? Please do not give me a stroke.
No, I'm excited.
Live.
I'm excited. I'm getting it day one, but it's like,
Okay, thank you.
but let me be honest. I'm as excited for that as I was for Horizon Forbidden West because I'm not a
You weren't very
die.
excited. You weren't very excited for Horizon
Yeah,
Zero
yeah, I
Forbidden
was.
West.
Yeah, I was. Yeah, I was
You
excited to
didn't
get that
sound
game.
like it.
Yeah, it was. It's just once I played it for like I want to say like 20 hours or so. I was just kind of the hype was kind of gone because it kind of felt like I was doing
The
the same
thrill is
thing over and over.
gone. The thrill is gone.
But as for yeah, I'm hyped because I think the gameplay is gonna be a lot better feeling than Forbidden West is just because you know Kratos is badass. He's crazy. So I'm hoping they do a little bit more with the mechanics of him, like just being a badass compared to last time. I felt like you were a badass, but also you kind of, I don't know, the fighting kind of felt repetitive. So I hope they added more to it.
Oh my goodness. You're also trolling the gameplay.
I said I
Okay,
thought it
We
was
don't
good.
know what the gameplay is going
so
to be like.
so I had a follow-up question, but I'm not gonna ask Cozy and Gendo about it because clearly they've already stated their positions. So Ham, my follow-up question for you is, if God of War Ragnarok is exactly the same as God of War 2018, but only changes in terms of like the story, is it a Game of the Year contender?
Is it a contender? Yeah, it's a contender. Is it gonna win? No.
Even if the gameplay is exactly the same, but the only thing that changes is the story beats. Because if you look at the previous God of War trilogy, the gameplay was essentially the same. Graphics got better and the story changed, but the gameplay was essentially the same. They'd add one or two little wrinkles, but it was the same thing.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's that exactly to the T. But
Okay,
um,
so you
I mean,
you
they already
but,
showed it off, and people did side by sides with it. It's gonna be a lot of the same stuff. There's just gonna be some new added to it. They're not like revamping everything.
okay, so you don't think it's going to be Game of the Year if it's the same gameplay?
I mean, it's just Elden Ring. I mean, come on. I
Oh
mean,
man,
it just is what
you
it
you know
is. I mean,
someone posted, you know
and
someone
plus,
posted that
it's going
that
versus a
people were
multi-plat game. It's going versus a multi-plat game that won over everybody's hearts. I don't think that a first-party game is going to win it this time because the third party is just out here flexing like that. I don't think so.
All right, let's
Hey,
go
hey, hey,
to
hey,
the
we gonna
chat.
talk about that same energy about Forza though?
Yeah, let's do that after I read the chats out. Ed Sensei says I'm here, but just listening. How's it going? Welcome, Sensei. Uh, Mi-
Sensei.
Mr. Chivalry says, "Hey everybody, can't wait for Ragnarok. Can finally listen to these sorts of conversations without worrying about spoilers. Haha. I found the gameplay to be dependent on the user. The more I learned, the better I did, and it never felt very samey to me. See, someone actually thinks the gameplay is nice.
That's
Madlike's
fine.
game says, yeah.
Oh,
Madlike game says, yeah, this year is a wash for Game of the Year. Exactly. I don't think it's that straightforward for Game of the Year, Ham, in terms of Elden Ring taking it by a landslide.
You're high.
God of War is gonna be awesome, dude. It's
That
gonna
has
be
nothing
awesome.
to do with it. I didn't say it wasn't going to be awesome. I just said it's not going to win Game of the Year over Elden Ring. It's just not.
All right, we'll
I mean,
see.
if you think it
Um,
is, I mean,
you have to eat a tarantula if you're wrong.
no.
I'll supply
Cozy,
the tarantula.
no, no. What I'll
N-
do is,
no one's doing that. See,
Fine.
see, even Mr. Chivalry agrees, and he's excited
oh
for
my God,
God of
he
War.
says Elden Ring has it on lock.
It does. I mean,
Okay,
it's a multi-plat
okay.
game that won over so many
Let's
people's
move
hearts.
on.
That's not even into that genre.
All right, so let's talk about the Game of the Year.
That is true.
Follow up on the same subject. There's some controversy about the Game of the Year dates moving because it's like a conspiracy theory that the Game Awards are biased towards PlayStation. Ham, go ahead and give us your version of what is actually happening from what you've seen. Because as it stands, Jeff Keighley is denying any type of bias at the Game Awards.
I'm not saying I'm
You
not
deny
sure
it.
if it's a bias against I'm not sure if it's a bias for PlayStation as much as it could be just a bias for like that game or God of War, like that specific IP, because it's just so big and he wants to rake in as much. I mean, because at the end of the day, he's a businessman. I mean, we
Yes.
can talk we can talk about like how he feels and whatnot, but of course you're gonna want to maximize on like that kind of hype. So as a business person, you're gonna look at it and be like, "Yo, we need to have this as part of the show because this game is not a racer. Even though Forza's fantastic, it's still a racer at the end of the day. God of War
Yeah.
has just that legacy, and it's already won like big time awards like Game of the Year. So it's gonna come back, whether you like it or not. But do I feel like Forza got snubbed? Absolutely, I feel like it got snubbed last year, but I don't think they're gonna do that same thing this year, especially with a game like Ragnarok. And plus,
Okay.
everyone wants to see Elden Ring look like it's sweating, even though it ain't. It ain't sweating, but everybody wants to assume that it's sweating. So they're definitely going to capitalize on the way that on the talk around town. You know what I'm saying?
All right. Madlax Game says the Game Awards is just a show to sell you ads for a few hours. I agree. That's why the only award that I care about is the fans vote award. Gendo, is the Game Awards biased towards Sony or Sony titles?
I don't know if there's any evidence of that. I don't really even follow who they give awards to, because award shows as a whole, it's just a marketing thing. It's not a. It's like the Oscars or the Grammys or the Golden Globes. It's just an industry award thing where they pat each other on the back. So it doesn't really mean that
Oh,
much.
yeah.
The Billboard Awards,
So
those are more legit because it's all about sales and numbers, real numbers.
yeah, I mean that's pretty straightforward. I mean, if you sell more
Yeah.
albums than the other guy, but of course, selling the most albums, it's because it's a sort of subjective what best means, what game of the year means, what all this stuff means. A lot of these award ceremonies, they don't have like transparent criteria about how they choose these things, or they take votes from a sample of people, but they don't tell you who they are.
Yes.
So
and who they're affiliated
so
to.
it's entirely possible. There's always a possibility for there to be. There's always bias in everything, but the question is the bias deliberate, or is it just a product of how things are? Or is it systemic bias? If it's systemic bias, nobody might even know that there's bias because it's built into the rules, or some companies have release dates that don't gel with it, or they, who knows? But there's always bias in everything. Nothing is 100% neutral, but the what's behind the bias might not be intentional, right? It's not always as if it's somebody is out to do a particular thing, and
They
when
are
they do
out
stuff
to
with
do the thing. Sorry.
yeah,
Continue. I'm joking.
but yeah, I mean, Game Awards, like you said, the fan vote, I guess, is meaningful because that's
the
what
closest.
people.
The closest to like something real.
But of course, fan votes can also be manipulated. People band together, and so if you have voter apathy, then you get
No, but if people think it's worth banding together for a
that
specific
says something
game,
by itself.
that also
Yeah,
says
that
it.
says something
Exactly.
by itself.
Yeah. Because people
But I
keep
mean,
enough.
but sometimes people band together to vote something up that is like objectively bad. Like
To
Morbius or something, right? Or
Oh God, that
yeah.
terrible.
So
I
they
heard there's
just
a
do it
sequel
because it's
coming.
funny.
I heard there's a sequel coming. Okay.
Cool.
Cozy, is the Game Awards biased towards Sony?
Probably, like, not just that, but more towards, I guess, those types of games.
That's
More
what I'm
towards
saying,
what?
too. I feel
Yeah,
that.
just those types of games. They don't really have, I guess, like a lot of interest in like more variety of games. They just like are more biased towards like a very specific tailored experience,
So AAA single player story,
linear type
super
stuff. Yeah,
curated graphics.
yeah.
That's what makes a good game.
No, that's not what makes a good game, because those are
No, I'm
exactly the
saying
kind of
that's
games
their
I
like
typically do.
criteria
Yeah,
That's
according
what
to
they
like
yeah.
their
find. That's what they
Okay.
find compelling.
Okay,
Because
and
if
it
you look
just
at
happens that Sony does those games.
It's like
You're gonna say
similar to
something?
film awards. Like if you look at all the film awards, they aren't like, oh man, this film really lit the world on fire.
You know what
They're
really
just like,
pisses me off about the film awards? I'm sorry, the fact that not even one Marvel movie won a film award.
they're
That
not
that that
actually that great of movies. I
I think
can
they are.
As a
I think so, yeah.
non-Marvel, I'm not a Marvel fan, so here's what. A lot
Well,
of them are. I
millions of
can.
people think you. Yeah.
You like them because you're a fan of them, not because, like, for example, a good movie should be able to tell a story on its own without you
Mhm.
having any context from previous movies. Like when people praise Endgame, I'm like, that movie sucks as a movie. You can't watch it by itself. It's a stupid bad movie. It's a
I'm
bad
sorry,
movie by
Cozy.
itself.
The whole planet was watching all the movies before that. I'm sorry. No. No. We're
Exactly.
gonna have a fight.
Exactly.
We're
You
gonna have
can't,
a fight.
like, for example,
Every time we start talking
the
about
best.
comic stuff, me and you can agree, Cozy. Seriously.
No,
Let's not
because
get off
you're
track.
talking about
Okay, you're right. Cozy, you're right. Okay? Let's
good.
move on.
See? Yeah.
Look, it's
Let's go
so
to the
hot.
chat.
I love it. He gets hot when
Bro,
it comes to
we start
Marvel
talking about
movies.
comics and DC. Oh my god. Cozy's got the worst takes. Okay, let's go to the chat. Matt Likes Game says Ragnarok will be amazing, but it isn't winning over Elden Ring. You haven't even played the game. Okay, Mr.
Neither of you,
Chivalry
fool.
says, well, I've played the previous one, so if this is
I
just a
played another
baseline,
game, so this one will be good.
yes. If the predecessor was awesome, if this one just maintains the baseline and just change the story beats, it's gonna be awesome. Matt Likes Games, oh for sure. Shiv, I'm sure the devs really appreciate it's just for fans. It really ends up being waiting for reveals between ads. I'm just responding to all awards shows as marketing. Okay, yeah, that's fair.
Once you read his
Okay.
next comment. Out loud, Loke. Oh.
Nah, I won't be reading that comment.
Okay,
We're
I'll
not.
do it for you. He said, I'm a Marvel
Oh
fan.
God.
They don't deserve an Oscar.
I will say there's one brilliant movie, and that is Captain America: Civil War. Not Civil War, the other one, Winter Soldier. Stands
Winter
alone
Soldier.
as a very
Yeah,
good film
that was a
by
special
itself.
movie.
Without anything else, it stands as just a really good movie. But other than that, all of them are like not that great. They're enjoyable and entertaining, but
Ed Man Likes Games is insinuating
Watching
God of War
him
is gonna be
bleed.
DLC because he says I basically have played the game. Bro, let's
I
not
mean,
do
but
that.
the thing is, if you like what something is, then you want more of it. It doesn't have to reinvent the wheel. It just has to do. I think that's a lot of times people's expectations get a little too ridiculous with games. They're like, well, this one reinvented the wheel, so the next one needs to too. And can it just be a good game without being like, oh, this
I
is.
have a question. I have a question for Gendo. Gendo, if they if suddenly Kratos starts jumping, will that
If he starts
redeem?
jumping.
Yeah, if you have the
Well, I
ability
mean,
to press X and then he jumps, will that redeem the game for you?
I mean the designs of the games are so fundamentally different. Like the original God of War games were had these set pieces, and each area you engaged was like a little. I mean, I don't know how to explain it, but it's not, you couldn't just add jumping to the current one and then have it be the same, because I guess what really sort of I liked about the originals is that it felt epic, in a way that this game doesn't. I mean, you were looking
Yeah,
at the huge scene.
this one's more intimate. That's fair. No, I'm not gonna fight you on that one. This one is
Didn't feel
definitely
like
more intimate.
I'm
it
not
didn't
talking
feel
about the
cool and
narrative.
badass.
I'm not talking about the narrative. I'm
I'm just
talking about
laughing.
the scope of the game, right? Like the opening scenes in previous God of War games, fighting a Hydra on the ship and fighting the Minotaur and all that stuff.
The
It felt
Colossus.
like this. Yeah. All these things that you came up, and every time you entered a new area, you kind of didn't know what was gonna happen. Whereas God of War 2018, it's not a bad game. I don't hate it. It just didn't excite me as much as
Did you
previous
finish
God of
it?
War games.
Did you finish it?
I did not finish it. No. I played
You
a
didn't like
couple of
it
hours. I don't
enough to
even know
finish
what.
it?
I got bored of playing it.
Oh.
Yeah,
Oh
like
my
I might
god!
still listen, but
What?
you got to
I
remember. I
got
mean,
bored of playing God of War 2018.
I sometimes
Jesus.
get I sometimes get with a lot of hyped up AAA games and so on. I sometimes am against the flow with what people like about them. The same thing with Ghost of Tsushima. I mean, my wife loves that game. She did not put it down. She started playing it and she played nothing else for
Don't
days
tell
and
me you
just
don't like
finished it.
Ghost of Tsushima as well.
I'm infamous on in my Twitter circles for not liking that game. I played like
What?
3 hours and then I just stopped because I was just bored out of my mind. I have no love for that game.
I
But
love his
again, I have no
honesty.
hate for that game either, right? I was like, after 3 hours, and I was like, am I having fun? And then I was like, no, I'm not having fun. So my rule is,
Well,
I'm
if you're
not having
asking
fun with the
yourself,
game. I stop playing it.
if you're playing a game and then there's space in your mind to be like, are you having fun? That's a bad sign.
Then I shouldn't be. Like I said, a lot of people have a bad opinion of Cyberpunk, but I had fun every minute I was playing that game. Like that's why I
Yeah.
play video games. I play them to have fun.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't play them. I don't play
You
them
don't play him to
to
appease
sort of.
anybody else.
Yeah.
It's
I
not
No,
also
appeasing, dude. What?
I also think there's something for me at least when it comes to I
Okay,
like
Gendo, how
narrative
do you feel
games.
about Metal Gear Solid?
Sorry.
How do you feel about the Metal Gear Solid series, like 1, 2, 3, and 4?
Some of my favorite games ever.
Okay.
I
So you're not
absolutely love
completely
Metal Gear.
irredeemable. You're not
Oh my
completely
god,
irredeemable.
Logue, you're putting them in a
Oh
box.
my goodness. This
Yeah.
dude.
Like it's a very case by case basis, and I mean, in the back of my mind, I'm like, I should go back and finish God of War 2018, and
Yeah,
I
do
should
that. Do that.
maybe give Ghost of Tsushima another go, and then when I go like, then I'm like, but do I really want to do that? I'd rather go and play, Deus Ex or something else.
We just
It,
okay, Gendo, Mr. Chivalry says I can't listen to this blasphemy about God of War. So we just lost one follower because of you.
oh, too
Matt likes
bad.
game says, "Oh, I'm following this guy instantly for Cyberpunk 2077." Well, okay. Let's move on. Let's quickly run through the rest because this is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. Okay. GameStop hits new layoffs. And I quote: when he left the company board of directors, former Nintendo president Reggie Fils-Aimé stated that GameStop's lack of a focused strategy was part of the reason, and perhaps that absence of a specific game plan partially explains why GameStop lost over $100 million in 3 months at the end of 2021. As of the time of writing, it is not yet clear how many positions have been cut, but it sounds like the number is rather large, according to CEO Matt Furlong. The goal of this workforce reduction is to sustain profitability, and the company plans to invest more in its store leaders and employees, though it's not certain what that means. Um, First off, has any of you guys worked at these video game
I have worked at
stores at
GameStop.
any point? Oh,
I
specifically
yeah.
GameStop. Please
Yep.
give us a brief anecdote of your
Uh,
experience.
GameStop's problem is they engage with a lot of the negatives of gaming culture for way too long, and because it was quick money, it was big bucks, and
Please be
instead of doing
specific.
things, okay, you want to know very specific?
Mhm.
They threw away games that nowadays are classic and collectible. They basically would only carry like a previous generation of stuff. So once
Mm.
those other stuff were like not, they literally just dumped them. Like games that could be, so and then like when suddenly retro gaming became a thing, they were like, oopsie, look at the handful of retro games we have when they should have had a wide variety. Because once they were like for a lot of people, the
Oh my
gateway,
goodness,
the
this is
access
facts.
path
This is
to
facts.
games. And so they had all these. They were the place where you could guarantee find a copy of some game that you were not going to find anywhere else. And they squandered all that. They could have been like the largest like all-inclusive, retro to modern gaming, store chain, the go-to. Because as it is, they're still one of the places you can go to get I only go there to get collector editions. And they're still one of the easiest places to go to get collector editions, to get that stuff. But they squandered all of that to chase, like, hey, we want to sell people Call of Duty and Call of Duty's battle passes or expansion passes. And that's what we want you to push to everyone.
So basically, GameStop should have hired Cozy instead of Reggie Fils-Aimé, and they'd be fine right now. They'd be making profits, making billions. Okay, thanks for giving us that breakdown. That was very informative. Gendo, what are your thoughts on all these layoffs?
She was spitting.
Yeah, for sure. Gendo, what are your thoughts on all these layoffs at one of the tent poles of video game sales? Physical video game sales.
It kind of feels inevitable that GameStop's business model is going to go the way of Blockbuster. It really depends on at what point console makers ditch physical games, because they will kill the entire retail market immediately. I mean, there's nothing for the brick and mortar shops to sell, and it's not going to happen tomorrow, but it's going to happen eventually, sadly, because it would be cool to still have physical media. But I don't think. I mean, what can GameStop realistically do? How could what should they reinvent themselves to be to keep going as a business going ahead? Something that's profitable enough to be worth it.
That's what I was saying. And they threw
Retro
away the
games, retro
opportunity
consoles.
to do that. They just threw it away. Literally, it hurts me every time I see.
If they do that, what they're doing is they're kicking the can down the road. Which is fine. I mean, you just want to keep surviving.
I was gonna say, what other choice do they got?
Eventually, yeah. It's either that or shut down and liquidate your assets and buy out gracefully, or diversify into other things. So, gamer lifestyle or something like that, or
memorabilia,
adjacent markets. Yeah, stuff. I mean, stuff like that. It's. Nobody knows exactly what's going to happen in the future, but more and more, the more broadband rolls out, and the more it becomes convenient for people will do what's convenient. They'll generally do what's convenient. And we in the States, they just recently passed the 50% mark with digital, if I'm not mistaken. Like in the last 2 or 3 years. It's in other parts of the world where internet access isn't as widespread or fast, but like eventually when people like Elon Musk and even Mark Zuckerberg at some point was working on some sort of project, they want to give internet access to the parts of the world that don't have it, because
Bezos,
obviously in their all of them. Facebook had that O3B, the other 3 billion project. We got Starlink from what's Bezos' project called? Even Google had this thing where they were going to send balloons up with Wi-Fi on them, Project Loon. In the end, inevitably, the whole world's going to be connected with broadband.
Yeah. And
when that happens, then it becomes viable for them to ditch physical media. And customers will drive that. They're going to get to the point where 99% of people just buy digital media, and then they're going to decide we will do it or not. I don't know what physical game retailers. I mean, over here in South Africa, even where we don't have we have decent connectivity, but a lot of poverty, and people aren't all connected to broadband. Our music retailers have closed. Like the biggest music chain, they sold like movies, music, video games, all physical media. They went out of business a year or 2 ago. All of them shut down.
Was that Incredible Connection?
No, Incredible Connection is still going. That was Musica. Okay. So Musica's gone. It doesn't exist anymore.
Damn,
the news Musica's gone.
Damn.
Gone. They literally everything up.
If you're talking about music, though, look at the way record sales, at least in the U.S., record sales, it's a big booming business now. It's a big booming business.
Is it?
And that's not something.
Physical vinyls.
Yes, it is a big booming
Yes.
business, and I've seen the way those prices have gone up.
They're
They used to be
outselling
able to.
CDs. They're
But
outselling CDs at this point.
the
What?
majority,
Vinyl, the big
the
black
majority
thingies?
of
Yes.
yeah.
Vinyls. Yes.
I actually did.
Guys
I
out your
actually did
mind.
some. I actually did some website content for. I do a lot of. Oh, I used to do. I don't do it as much anymore, but I do a lot of content marketing stuff, where you'll pick a topic like vinyl collection or whatever, and then you'll set up a website with buyers guides and all sorts of blog articles and stuff, and then you make money from selling Amazon stuff, like Amazon affiliate stuff. And I
Yep.
did one like 3 or 4 years ago for vinyl and looking at the players and so on. But if I recall correctly from the stuff I read, people are buying vinyls, but they're not actually ever playing them, right? So they'll buy the vinyl, but they might not even have a record player. They buy them as memorabilia. That's why you're getting
Sounds
a lot
like
of
gamers.
there's a trend now to make vinyls that have like the vinyl itself is like transparent, or it's got an interesting pattern, or it becomes so the music is on there, but often you get like a digital, like an iTunes code or something with the vinyl record, so that you can have a digital copy of the music. And then people like put it into a collection, or they put it on display, or
And
do
that's
something
that.
like that. So
All right. Well,
vinyls have become merchandise. There was an article that somebody wrote on Forbes or something where they're saying like physical media is becoming merchandise, like collectible merchandise, but it's not actually being used as media anymore. And now people are auctioning off VHS tapes for $30,000. So
let's hope that happens to video
That's
games.
what GameStop could have pivoted themselves for. Like you think about games like Lollipop Chainsaw. I mean, I know they're remaking it, but you look at the price of it. You imagine if they didn't just toss out all their copies when they were like, "Well, we're not selling these anymore." They had like lots of sure they had like a lot of shovelware, but they also had a lot of games that just like and the current time, you don't necessarily know if a game is going to end up being like something people want down the line. So you could have, sure, I still imagine stores would be closing, but then you could like basically just warehouse a lot of this stuff and then have like an online, keep track of it online. Someone's like, I'm going to GameStop because I know they'll probably have this random little game, like One Piece Wii game that I
there
bought.
are mom and pop stores that do that. There are mom and pop
Yes.
stores that are dedicated to doing this. The game they buy and sell vintage games. That's what they do. I know there's like Pink Gorilla in the States that does it. Over here, we've got a couple of places that do that as well. And they also trade in the old hardware as well. So they'll buy up like PS1s and NESs and Atari systems and refurbish them and then resell them. And there's a big market with like Retron, console, not emulator consoles, and the FPGA chip consoles and so on. So obviously retro is huge. I don't know how it's obviously a tiny fraction of the mainstream gaming market, but it's big enough that it matters to Sony and to Xbox and these guys to give us like emulated access to old games and that sort of thing. So there's a business there, but is there enough of a market to sustain a GameStop of the size it is at the moment? Because it's
No.
a really big chain, right? They
I
would
don't
have
think
to,
so.
yeah.
All right.
I
Let's go to
do
the
think
chat for a
that they
minute.
could have pivoted themselves towards also because they had the power and the connections. They could have pivoted themselves as being like the easiest way to get, how big collector's editions and they sell out now. Always. They could have pivoted themselves to be like the big access point, like, oh, you want a collector's edition? We got you. Things like that. It frustrates me. Never mind, I won't. Let's go.
Right. MadLike's Game says, yep, I haven't been in a GameStop store since I got my Xbox One on day one because of all that. What she's saying. I'd love to go into GameStop and pick up an OG Xbox with some games or maybe a PS1 or PS2. Mr. Chivalry says it's like steelbooks. I'd much rather get a steelbook 4K physical copy than a DVD or Blu-ray. Okay. Yobi, welcome. Welcome to the chat. Bro.
Yobi!
All right. This one is going to be a bit salty. Hang on to your seats and maybe return to your seat.
You know what else is salty?
Goddamn.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
man, didn't give
Sorry.
a chance
All
to
right. Go ahead. GameStop. Go.
So first of all, I want to shout out the Hawaiians up in the chat. I appreciate y'all for
You
being
got
here.
Mahalo.
Mahalo.
Good to see y'all. Really good to see you guys here as usual. But bro, like let's get real, man. Man, when I was a kid, one of my favorite things to do was to go in there and look at just the retro collection that they have. I remember back when they were Software Etc. and other companies around the nation before they turned into GameStop, they were super big in the retro stuff. They had all the stuff hanging, on the walls that you could go grab, like accessories and stuff like that. They still got some of that, but it's so much more scarce now, so much more boring to walk in there because it's like, why could I walk in here when I have the exact same marketplace online? The reason I want to go to this place is to see something I can't see on my Xbox, on my PlayStation, and stuff like that. So that's to me where they lost just a massive amount of business. So I'm really hoping. I mean, I know you guys said, "Oh, I'm not sure how much or whatnot." Dude, you can make a profit off of it, bro. A game like Super Smash Brothers Melee right now for the GameCube is going towards $100. That game is going towards $100. You got other games like Outrun and whatnot that's going towards like $100. You got other games that are in like the thousands of dollars. Why wouldn't you want to be like that centerpiece, that spot to go nationwide where you could go get like the dopest Sega games? We don't have to say, yo, we're taking in every single game, because not every single game needs to be taken in. Like nobody cares about what was it, like NCAA basketball by Fox or something like that, or what was that game, like Quarterback Club for like those games are kind of ridiculous. You only
ET.
need like a couple
What about ET? Someone might want to play ET.
Somebody might, but I mean, you can limit those. Like, hey, we got 5 in stock. We don't need any more because these games just don't move, right? So I think they could try to trim the fat and know what games sell, what games don't, what games are worth it, and they need to get that kind of stuff in stock so they can keep feet coming into the door and stuff like that. Because I can tell you right now, I'm not going back to a GameStop unless they provide something like that, something that's going to be different than what I can just buy
Midnight
digital.
releases.
That was
Midnight release events.
Okay. Let's move on to the last big topic before we go to game predictions. We've got E3 returns to Los Angeles in 2023. This one's from Game Rant. E3 organizer Entertainment Software Association attempted a shift to digital-only event with dubious results, but the intent has always been a return to an in-person convention. That intent has now become a plan, with the ESA announcing an in-person E3 will be returning in 2023. E3 2023 will be open not only to publishers, developers, journalists, content creators, and other industry workers, but also consumers. E3 will also be organized by a different team, with the ESA announcing that it's partnering with ReedPop for next year's event. ReedPop is also known for running events including PAX and the Star Wars Celebration, as well as other major hobby conventions. Gendo, are you going to E3 in LA next year? Are you excited?
Well, I'm definitely not going. That's a little bit out of my budget.
Not that far.
Unless somebody's
It's a short jog.
Yeah, it's just on the other side.
Yeah, no one's gonna pay that plane ticket for me to go over there. Well, I don't really see the point of a regular consumer going there, to be honest. I guess it's an experience. I've been to like conventions before, but you can just get the information online as it's journalists go there, they document it, and then they tell you what happened. So I don't know. It's like one of those things. I guess I'm one of those people. Like some people get up at 3 o'clock in the morning to watch sport live. If I watch sport, which I don't,
I do that for the
then
NBA. I do that for the NBA and the NFL.
yeah,
I do that.
like you can just watch the replay 3 hours later when you wake up at a normal time.
I mean, I just froze.
So it's kind of like that. I don't see the point of like why go. If you're going there because you have to write a story about it, of course. If you're going there because you have to like announce things to journalists, yes. As a spectator, I mean, what is your function there? Why are you going? What do you get out of it if you go? As just a regular gamer, what do you get out of it when you go?
Maybe Yobi can answer you in the chat. He says, "I will be there and I can't wait." So go ahead and answer Gendo's question, Yobi. Ham.
Yeah.
E3. Why would you go?
Well, I'd go to, bump elbows and meet all sorts of different type of people that I constantly talk to within this community. I think as a content creator, this is like the place to be. You want to be able to talk to these people. You want to be able to meet new people. In fact, as I said, like bump elbows with all sorts of different type of people within the industry. Yeah, it's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be crazy. It's at the LA Convention
This is a deal
Center.
for you.
This is where I really want to go. I really want to go to the E3, and I'm probably gonna make it happen. To be honest, somehow, some way, I'm gonna make it happen. But for like your regular gamer, like you're going there for the experience. I mean, just like you go to a show. Just like you go to the movie theaters, you don't have to go to the movie theaters. The movie is going to be coming out on DVD or Blu-ray or whatnot. But the reason that you go to the theater is for the experience, to be able to tell the homies and be like, yo, I saw it here first. I saw it
Endgame when everyone came back and the whole place erupted. Remember Endgame? We all knew they were gonna come back, but remember that feeling, like goosebumps on your skin, your hair. It was crazy. The experience was insane.
So yeah, I 100% want to go there, and I've heard it from many people. Like K Mega's been to a E3, and he told me how amazing it was to see people play games early that weren't coming out for quite some time. I want to be able to see that in videotape and take pictures and just live through that, because I think that's a fantastic thing to kind of have on your resume. You know what I mean?
Okay, that's a fair response. Mr. Chivalry says, I mean, that's like asking, why would anyone go to any convention for a thing they love? I think this one's for Gendo. Mr. Joanna Dark says, at Ham, are we hanging out at E3 2023? You guys need to set up a date. Yobi says, Yobi says, what do I get out of it? To meet my online gaming family. 2, I always dreamed of going since I was a child. 3, this is our gaming Super Bowl.
It is.
Yes.
I mean, he ain't lying.
Yes.
Those are facts.
Yes, the Super Bowl. I also want to go to Super Bowl one day. Mr. Chivalrous says, why ever leave the house? We can just read about the weather online. Okay, that's not cool. That's not a cool response. That's toxic. Just a little bit toxic. Mr. Joanna Duck says, is the whole TSWS panel meeting at E3. It's an awesome event, and I hope it recaptures the excitement. That would be wild. Personally, Gendo, this one, I'm actually responding to you. I would love to go to E3 just so I could shake hands with Ham Solo.
I just want a pie loaf right in the face. I just want to hit him with a pie.
It's fine. It is fine. But this guy's changed my life.
I'll still give him a hug afterwards.
Wait, it's in where? Is it in LA?
Yeah, it's at the LA Convention Center. Yeah.
Yeah. So for me, that's what I would go. Like, there's lots of other stuff. I would like to also meet other people, etc., etc. But my main goal is I want to see Ham Solo in person, and I want to shake his hand. That for me, that would blow my mind. Cozy, E3 2023. Are you down?
I'm I'm of two minds. So like I agree with before I started game dev, I agree with Gendo in that it's not the kind of because I go to conventions pretty regularly, but I'm not into industry conventions. I'm more into fan conventions because it's a completely different feel, and I love fan conventions. But because I'm now working on my own game, I would really like to go
Connect.
to so yeah. But if I wasn't, then I would definitely not be interested in going
You
to.
would not be going.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Basically, is that I also have
Mm.
gone to industry conventions for my profession, because I have a reason to go there. There's value in it. But it would be like it's like if you're a plumber going to the plumbing convention, and then there are people who are fans of plumbing who are also going there, but they don't actually do the job, right?
Hang on.
It
Hang on.
does
Plumbing's not entertaining. Plumbing's not
like
entertaining.
what is E3 still an industry convention or not? Because what I've read over the years is that it's become more of a fan convention. So it might not because they
Yeah.
have to cater to multiple audiences, and there's also like there's a part of the thing that happens that the public does not have access to. Like there's a couple of days when it's just like developers and publishers and industry people. Am I right about that? They have a closed off part at the start, and then they open it up to the public for a certain amount of time. I vaguely remember reading something like that a couple of years ago, because E3 attendance was starting to crash, and the relevance of the thing was starting to go down. And I think that's why they started letting like just regular people attend it. And so it becomes debatable if it's turned into a fan convention. Then I can understand why people want to go, because they're going to see like reveals and have access to stuff in booths and whatnot. If it is still mostly an industry convention, then I feel like it'd sort of be like a third wheel if you weren't like somebody who that convention is meant for. But it depends on the details of what happens there, and then
I
why
got
you go and why.
a similar
Yeah.
explanation of this. So in the auto industry, if you work in the industry, there's a big auto convention that's like about connecting with other auto people, other auto groups, about people who make products for the auto groups, and that's the convention. But there are conventions that are entirely dedicated to car enthusiasts, and those two markets are very different.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so we still don't know if TSWS will be showing up. But
that's the other thing
E3.
about industry conventions is industry conventions are much more expensive than fan conventions.
Mm.
And you
Much
usually
more.
don't pay, and the reason for that is that you're usually being sponsored by the place that you work for, the publication or the company that you work for, or the studio that you work for. So if you're going to E3 and you're paying out of your own pocket, then you're probably perhaps not the target audience. If somebody else is paying you to go to E3, then you're probably in the right ballpark.
Right. Follow-up question. Who is going to capture more eyeballs next year? Summer Game Fest or E3? Gendo,
E3.
pick one.
Yeah, probably E3 still.
Wow. But they've been gone for so long. They're dead. It's dead. Everyone
I don't
keeps
think it
saying E3's
matters.
dead.
People are
might be
saying
part of
E3,
the
but they
reason.
know what E3 is. Like, there are people who still don't even know what the Summer Game Fest is. I know gamers who don't even know what the Summer Game Fest is.
E3 is a massive brand, right? And the fact that they have been sort of out of the picture for a while might have the effect of amplifying the interest, rather than going, oh, they're there every year. So,
Marvel needs to take a page out of E3's page. Just go away for a bit. Okay.
I'm feeling hungry.
We're an hour in.
I got
so
mealworms.
What are we
the hell
eating?
is a mealworm?
Mealworm.
Take it out and show us what the hell it is.
They're little insects. They're little
Are
bugs.
they
I don't
real
think they're
worms?
insects.
Are they real?
Yeah.
Are they real
little
worms?
bugs?
yeah.
Yeah.
They're just mealworms. They taste perfectly fine. It's kind of
They
like
taste
peanuts.
pretty bland, but yeah.
Kendo, I cannot believe that you're subscribing to this.
See?
Let's see.
To eating insects. Why not? It's the future, man.
Oh
What?
my goodness. Oh.
Eat it, Cozy.
God.
Eat it.
Oh,
Guys
God.
in the chat. What?
This is gonna be oh no.
For
Here we
real?
go. Oh
Did you
man.
eat worms?
Yeah. You want to see me do it again? I don't
mean,
eat too many of them
Is that not like a
because
are
magic
those
trick?
are
See?
those flavored or are they plain?
They're
Oh
salted.
man.
There's
Oh, they're
flavored
salted. Okay.
worms.
Yeah.
But
Gendo,
I'm
you eat
actually gonna
flavored worms.
I'm
No.
actually gonna season them a little more and then have them with rice.
Oh my
Okay.
goodness. Mr. Chivalry said
Um,
insect-based food is the new plant-based food.
Christ.
Yeah, I
No.
mean,
Okay.
usually most people wouldn't eat them unprocessed. The idea is to process them into stuff like burgers and like minced meat and so on. But they're perfectly fine. Like a large percentage of the people on Earth eat insects as a big part of their diet. South
You know what
America,
else
you
tastes
can,
really good? Pill bugs. Pill bugs. They taste like shrimp. They taste like shrimp. I'm telling you.
Okay. So yeah, okay. We're gonna be skipping a bunch of topics here because we're already an hour
What
in. So
topics?
I'll read out the headlines, but
Okay.
we don't have the time for them. The marketing strategy for Skate is interesting.
Okay, no.
Itch.io creates a bundle to support reproductive rights and raises $60,000
Boring.
in the first day. Lollipop Chainsaw remake announced.
Okay.
Captain America returns to Fortnite for the 4th of July.
Meh.
Diablo Immortal makes $1 million a day.
You weren't
Oh
Uh,
lying when you said they were
Lord.
boring.
oh
yes,
Yeah.
no.
What?
and Michael. Do you want to stop for
Oh
that one?
my! No, I'm just blown away by hearing that. You said a million a day. Is this real?
And I quote, the report first came from mobilegamer.biz, citing data from Magic as a reference. According to the report, revenue from Diablo Immortal peaked 10 days after launch, with Blizzard earning 2.5 million in a day. Now
Woo!
over a month, now over a month after its release, and with continuous negative public sentiment still being brought up every now and then, Diablo Immortal is surprisingly still able to pull in just a little over, a little less than half of what it made daily during the first 2 weeks. Many would find it hard to believe that Diablo Immortal is able to become such an effective money-making machine, being the worst game on Metacritic in terms of user score. Yeah, so it's real. $1 million per day.
They getting
And
paid
the
over
last
there.
topic,
They getting paid.
yeah, yeah. And lastly, we're skipping Michael Jordan announced as the cover athlete for NBA 2K23.
Okay. That was a lot of
Stankmore,
uninteresting.
Carmelo Jordan.
Stankmore, Stankmore, I'm not sure if you're in the chat, bruv, but we would like to know what your review is for Jazz Jackrabbit from last week.
So
Feel
one thing
free
I
to
gotta say
post it in
about
the comments.
Stankma, one thing I gotta say
Yeah,
about Stankma real quick is that
yeah.
he sent me a DM this morning saying I finally made the purchase.
What purchase? Did he
He
get a
bought
PS5?
himself a Series X, and he was asking me
Ooh.
he oh, there he is there he is there he is.
Say
So I'll let him tell him.
Oh,
I'll let him tell you himself. Once he gets to
please,
the keyboard.
please,
But go on.
please. Yeah. So yeah, Steinmore, give us your review of Jazz Jackrabbit from last week's conversation. Okay. Now we're going to game predictions. We have
oh.
Cozy's Game of the Year, Rune Factory 5, coming out for PC, July 13th.
It is already out for
Gendo,
PC?
for PC, no, July 13th. Gendo, please give us your Metacritic prediction for Rune Factory 5 on PC coming out July 13th.
Probably 80.
80.
Mm.
That's a low rating. Cozy, get him.
That's a higher rating than I
It sh-
expected.
Okay. So what are you
I'm
giving it?
going to go. I'm going to go 73
But you're a big fan. How is it 73?
Because she knows what
because
type of game
it's
she likes. She likes mid games.
yes.
Oh my goodness. Ham, what's the Metacritic score for Rune Factory 5?
77.
77. Okay. Gendo remains Mr.
I
Positivity.
also don't like it as much as 4.
You haven't played. Oh, you have played it on the Switch, right? It's out on
Yeah.
the Switch already. Okay. Okay. Next we have Zell, spelled with an X, XEL.
Ugh.
Coming for the Switch, July 14th. Gendo,
What kind
what is your prediction for Zell?
I've never that. All I know about the game is its name, and you just told me that. What is it?
Dude, I also have no freaking idea. Nintendo game.
Yeah, so
That's all I have to say
I
about that.
I have no idea what to tell you because I don't know anything about that game. I don't even know the genre or the
Stab in the
publisher.
dark.
Nothing.
Stab in the dark, man. Just stab. You might
Give it
get
a
like
50. Give it a 50.
50. Wow. Dude,
Just based on the
He
name.
goes
The
from
name
80
sucks.
to 50. The name sucks. I think it's an interesting spelling. Zell with an X. That's interesting. It's like some alien stuff.
No, that's stupid because how do you even say
Wow.
that if you don't know? What if you like don't come from a place where there's an X even used?
Cozy, what's your prediction for Zell coming out on Switch July 14th?
It's not going to have any reviews.
Ooh, spicy. No one's gonna play it?
Damn.
That is hot. And she's a Nintendo expert.
That was
Bro,
even worse
she's
what
a
Gendo said.
She's a Nintendo expert. So if she says this is bad, it's probably gonna be bad. Ham, what's your
bad? I said it's not
score?
going to have any reviews.
That is horrible. It's
I
go
think it's
ahead,
gonna
Ham.
be. I'm gonna go with a 61.
60. Damn, no one is feeling Zell just because of the name. You guys are
That
toxic.
was good. I thought that was a good one.
No.
Generous.
Okay. Gendo. We have Fist forged in Shadow Torch. Fist, if you guys don't know, is like a 2D side scroller actiony game. Came out on PlayStation. It was on PlayStation. So now it's coming out on Switch. Gendo, what is your score prediction for this one?
Again, let's say a 70.
70.
Make it
Okay,
70.
your scores are getting like more and more negative as time goes. Cozy, Fist forged in Shadow Torch.
It's going to be like 2 points lower than what the PlayStation version got.
Okay. 2 points lower than PS version. Okay. Ham?
I'm gonna go with the 82.
Okay. Eesh, I put 92. All right.
Matt says 106.
Ah, Christ. Matt is like, he worships at the altar. Game of the year. Look at this. Game of the year. Okay. Lastly, we have possibly game of the year this year. Power Wash Simulator.
Oh my
For
god.
for PC, Xbox One, and Series X. Gendo, Power Wash Simulator.
75.
Oh my goodness, he said 75 for this?
That's pretty high, man. That's pretty high, in my opinion. Cozy, Power Wash Simulator, go.
84.
Oh my
84.
god, what is happening right now?
Y'all are trolling. You guys
Hey
are
man.
trolling.
No. Let me tell you. Have you ever used a power washer?
So satisfying.
It is. It is extreme.
I'm not going down with you guys in this tangent about Power Wash Simulator
If
being
you've
an
ever
awesome.
used a power washer, you can understand why the game might be enjoyable.
It's like reverse Splatoon, though, right? You just spraying the paint off instead of spraying it on. So, Power Wash Simulator is like reverse Splatoon.
Ham, Ham.
I'm in disbelief.
No,
Under
listen to what I'm gonna say. The two people that are rating Power Wash Simulator are also the two people that said God of War gameplay is mid.
I know.
Just keep that in mind. Just keep that in mind.
I'm lost. I don't know
Nelson,
what the
Now,
hell's going
welcome,
on.
welcome, Nelson.
if they
Nelson
gave
says Power
Kratos a
Wash.
power washer, if they gave
Yeah.
Kratos a power washer, it might have improved things. Like you could have
Oh
combined
my
Super Mario,
God.
Oh my God!
combine God of War and
He
Super
said
Mario
God of War
Sunshine,
Sunshine.
right?
God of War Sunshine.
God of War Sunshine, yeah, there you go.
Take
That would
my
have been
money.
awesome.
Shut up
Oh
and take my
no!
money.
Oh my
No,
God.
okay. You know what? No.
Yes, I support that. I support that wholeheartedly.
Oh my goodness.
God of
Okay.
Washer? Oh my goodness.
Ed Nelson Gaming says Power Wash sounds like Game Pass. Oh my goodness. Oh, you
What
guys
are these
are wild.
guys talking
Ham,
about
just
right now?
give us the score so we can keep going. Because now I'm picturing Kratos trying to power wash his way through the game. That's ridiculous. Like, how does the logistics work? Where is he plugging the machine in? Where's the water coming from? It's all over the
If
place.
there's magic, you can magic a power
Magic.
washer.
You can magic whatever you want in that universe.
Guys, I'm not going down this no. Ham, what's your score for power wash? I'm not doing this with you
Oh
guys.
my goodness. Dude, let's be real. This game is like a 61, and that's high.
Probably. Yeah, probably. That's fair. That's fair.
What
Okay,
did Lawnmower Simulator get? What was its Metacritic
I
score?
am curious what that got, because I was thinking about that the whole time I was making that assessment. I didn't even look it up, though, to know.
all right, let's do it. Let's look it up.
Oh my
Lawnmower
goodness. You guys
Metacritic.
are fucking insane today.
Oh, it got a 72 on Series X. It got a 72 on Series X. So I think Ham, I think your score is gonna be very accurate actually.
I feel like it is too. These motherfuckers over here.
Yes, Stankmore. I'm sorry for you missing most of the show. If you rewind, go to like the first 2 minutes of the show. Like we hadn't even finished the introductions, bruv, and these guys are trolling already. God of War gameplay is mid, according to Cozy and Ed Gendo. Gendo said he was
Not me.
bored.
I didn't
He
say
didn't
that.
finish it. He said he was bored. Jesus Christ above. Okay,
I got my
let's move
my
on. Let's
drink.
move on. What's your drink? What is it? What is it? Is that
It's
octopus
sour
pea?
sop. I don't know what a sour sop is, but I thought the carton was cool.
What is sour sop?
I don't know.
Gendo, do you know what sour
Yes.
sop is?
Never heard of it.
But
Ah,
yeah, and it wasn't
Cozy, you have-
refrigerated, but it looks like it should be refrigerated. Let's find out.
It looks.
What is sour sop?
Did you not refrigerate
Also
it?
called.
Oh, it's one
okay,
of these
that's not bad.
things.
Okay,
That's a
so
sour
we
sop.
do. Okay, we do have these fruits here in Africa, and I like them. So it should taste nice. I didn't know that's what they were called in English. They have a different name in like in
I don't think
Mozambique.
this is. I didn't buy this one from the English section in the grocery store. The English section only has beans and tea. I got this from the
The African.
Asian
So if we
section.
do the translate, buzz off, Ham, buzz
It may
off.
have actually been from the African
we do-
section.
If we
may
do,
have.
listen, if we do the direct translation of what this fruit is called in Mozambique, it's actually called cow's heart. That's what we call it. If you do the direct
It
transaction.
very well could have come from the
Translation.
African section because the store does have an African section.
Okay, you know what? Never mind. I was trying to be nice. Let's go to the game results from last week. Gendo, we have F1 22. Gendo said 85, Cozy 88, Ham said 80, and Ham actually got that one right because the highest Metacritic score was 82. So he got it the closest. He didn't get it perfectly right, but he got it the closest. Clonoa Fantasy Reverie series. Gendo said 85, Cozy 79, Ham 78. So Ham got it right because the highest
Hater.
score was 70. Highest score was 77. We have
Cutting you off.
Kid. We have Arcade Geddon. Gendo said 65, Cozy 84, Ham 75. The actual score was 74. So Ham, another clean sweep this week.
Ugh,
This is getting
I can't
ridiculous.
stand you. I can't stand you.
I
You don't
am
count.
fucking y'all up.
Okay, Ham. A little humility, just a little bit. Just a little bit. Let's go to the notable tweets section. Let me post my L real quick. At
We're talking
Frost
about Redfall right
Urine.
now? We're talking about Redfall?
No.
You might as well
Redfall is
post
gonna be
you
dead.
might as well post that L right now,
Redfall,
bro. Redfall is gonna
Redfall
be
is gonna
fire.
be dead in 12 months.
You
It
are
will be dead.
high, sir. You are high, sir. Please
Yeah,
put down that
yeah.
pipe.
Am
Uh,
I gonna Are we gonna go?
Oh my god, Cozy was just cutting out like crazy. I don't even know what you said.
Oh,
bro,
are we
it's
gonna
that
play
African
Redfall?
internet. Are we gonna do what?
We ain't playing with low.
Are we gonna play Redfall?
We ain't playing with
Oh
low.
fuck that. I'm not. I'll give it a go, but I'm
No.
not.
Can you hear me
I'm not
now?
gonna keep it
Don't even
installed
touch
for
it.
longer than a
Don't
week.
even touch it.
Oh, I forgot that I
Whatever,
may have been
Ham.
pulling out my mic.
Whatever. Okay, guys. Focus. All right, tunnel vision. At Frosk Urine, I don't know why she calls herself Frosk Urine. It sounds like frosted urine. Anyway, she said, I feel like God of War on a November release date is because they want to hit the holiday quarter. Maybe not because that's a reasonable launch date. Hope there's no crunch and everything is going according to plan. So she's insinuating there's crunch. Corey Barlog replied saying, I feel like we thought a lot about what date and chose the best date for the team, the game, and fans. What do you guys think about what Frost is insinuating about God of War and potential crunch?
Can you either point somebody out or I'm about to just go.
Gendo, go first.
I think for me it's pretty simple. That's like just an opinion that she pulled out of an orifice somewhere. What does she base that on? What information does she have? Like, if you're going to strongly imply that the announced date for a game that's in development is unrealistic, based on what? You have no information about where the development is, how much people are working. So either you, if you're Jason Schreier, you have a source, to say that, right? You have like a documented source
Gendo
to
is
say
not
that,
feeling it. He is not feeling
but
it at all.
you can't say something. You can say that as your opinion, but you have no basis to say that. What is she basing that on? It's literally just like made from thin air, unless she says, "I have
He
heard
knows
from somebody
something.
who is working on this game that there's crunch or something." Otherwise, It's like those tabloids where they go, is Elvis walking among us? We're just asking questions. We're not saying Elvis is walking among us. We're just asking questions.
Crunch,
It's that same
crunch,
kind of thing.
crunch at Sony
Crunch
Santa
like my
Monica is
bugs.
mythic. That's what you're trying to say. It's mythic. Okay.
I'm saying that if you're gonna if you're gonna say something like that without having a reason, you can just wake up and say, well, I think the CEO of that company drinks baby's blood. That's how I feel.
I think you drink baby blood.
Cool, but
Oh my god, what is
That's
happening
why
right
his
now?
skin is smooth. That is why Gendo's skin is smooth. Everyone in the chat, Gendo drinks baby's blood. That's why his skin is smooth. Let's go to the chat real quick.
Oh my god.
Nelson said something I will not repeat. Whoever wants to know what Nelson said, just watch the video. At Stankmore says facts. That chick says anything. Uh, Mr. Chivalry says Frost needs to stop. Roger that. Ham, Frost, go.
All right. So for me, the
Mm-hmm.
more stuff that she says, the more I don't hear what she says, and it's more just like, look at me, look at me. She says shit that just says, look at me. There's really not a whole lot. I mean, she's either to me, it's like she's either a a person looking for sympathy one day, and then she's a person that's just looking for looking to start a fire the next day. Sympathize for me today, and then watch me shit post the next time.
All right.
That's just the kind of way I look at it. I just don't understand why this was necessary to be said, and I know now it's just because she just wants to say dumb shit and just watch the crowd get frustrated and say. I mean, look, she got an interaction from Corey out of it. I feel like that's the way she's looking at it. Is I'm getting interaction with people. Look at me.
Not just people, bruh. Freaking Corey the Saint Barlog. Cozy, go ahead and give us your take on the whole Frost thing.
I agree with both of these takes. It's sort of like at first it was like, sometimes people have bad takes, and sometimes people are like, a broken clock is right twice a day.
So they got lucky.
And she's been on both of those, but she's becoming like a really broken clock.
She's a troll
without
at this point. She's a troll at
yes.
this point.
Oh my goodness.
It's like, I'm not enjoying, it's like, yeah, like, where'd you even get this from? You didn't have to say anything. You could have said, like, something positive, something negative about the date, but, like, I'm speculating about something I don't really know about. I don't have any inside information, don't know anyone. It's sort of like, what even are we, yeah.
All right. So let me post my L real quick. I quote retweeted what she said, and I basically just said, like, the comments were disheartening because the people in the comments were doing something opposite to what you guys just did now. You would expect that when someone posts something that is like unsubstantiated, etc., you would attack that specific point. Everyone is just dragging up her whole entire history and attaching it to this speculative comment of hers. And you got people posting on my tweet that I'm a simp and she didn't have one wrong take, whatever. And I'm like, guys, if someone posts one thing specific about this water bottle and it's very wrong, can we not talk about everything else that person has talked about? Let's focus on this specific point, because then we can't talk about anything. Because if I now bring up a point about God of War, someone can bring up whatever I've said on every single one of our previous episodes.
It's a broken clock.
It's point.
This is Twitter,
okay.
Loke. What did you expect?
No, okay, but no, that's why I didn't reply to them. I just wanted to give you guys the context and to get your guys' take on how I feel about the whole structure of the discourse, that one person brings something up and they've been wrong about 50,000 things, but instead of us speaking about that one thing that they're talking about, we have to bring up everything else as well.
Because it's like at some point you get tired of that person being wrong all the time. And like, oh my goodness, you see, when you did that time, you did that, can you just stop? I think that becomes a problem when you have a history of doing that. And like, I agree with what Ham said. She's just troll. At some point you just have to acknowledge that's what you are your actions. So you can be like, I'm different in real life, but if all the evidence we have of you is you having bad, wrong not opinion, wrong take after take after take, that we look at your history and say, hey, this is what you present us with. You are a problem.
Okay.
Annoying.
Gendo, am I a simp?
Yes. I mean, Gendo, you don't have to answer that. I can just answer it for you. Absolutely.
Bro, have you seen what she looks like? Why would I simp? Oh God. Okay, I shouldn't say that. Okay, but
that's
it's
not
true.
very nice.
See, now that's not
True,
nice.
though. Come on, guys. Stop being politically correct. Have you guys seen what she looks like? Honestly, I felt offended when they called me a simp. I'm like, yo, you guys are painting me in a picture where I look at Frost and I'm like, oh my God, that is so insulting. It's not right. It's not cool. All right, fine. Stankmore says that's Twitter in a nutshell. She'll laugh. Most people attack the straw man. Matt likes games. Who is simping for? We're not simping. No one is
He's
simping.
simping for frost
Let
urine.
us
Frosty
let us
urine.
oh
Frosty
Look
urine.
cozy.
backpedaling. Look
Oh my
backpedaling.
god.
Yeah, I
Matt likes
think
games. God damn,
I
look.
think
He wants to drink our bath water.
let me put it this
No.
way. Just a
What?
tip for the future, right? If somebody
What?
accuses you of doing something because you're attracted because they say you're attracted to somebody or you're being affected by that person's charms, probably don't say no, I couldn't possibly be because I find that person unattractive. Just say no, it's not like that. You don't have to explain that the other
No.
person you find the other person ugly to justify your position. That's maybe not the best strategy.
But it's not really a strategy
Man,
thing. It's
Loke,
just a it's a
you are
truth
taking a lot
thing.
of L's today so far. A
Loke
lot of
is
L's.
Whatever,
digging.
man. Oh
This is
god.
Loke.
All right,
It's
fine.
always touchy when you attack people's appearance in any way.
I'm not
That's
attacking
Yeah.
her.
that'll get
I'm
you in
not attacking
trouble.
her. When they say simping, it's because you're attracted to said person, correct? I'm not
Yeah,
attracted
yeah.
Why are you
at
defending
all
her so? Why are you defending her so hard?
because I'm
No,
defending her point, not her. That's the
Why?
problem.
Wait, that's
If this
even
was a
worse. Why are
guy,
you defending her
Cozy,
point?
no, I'm defending the fact that she has the right to say whatever she wants to say, and people
She
should attack
does, and everyone
what
has the
she's
right to
saying,
react to
not
it.
everything she said before, because then you can't have a discourse about what she's saying now.
You can't
No,
have a
that's
discourse
that's
with
fair.
trolls at all. You can't have a
That's
discourse with
fair.
people who can't consistently,
At Stankmore
loudly
says, at
make.
Stankmore says, Loke starts with an L. It starts with two L's, but technicalities. Let's move on to the
Oh,
next
okay,
notable
yeah,
tweet.
that explains so much.
In response to each itch.io's bundle, at Jacob Fell says, yeah, you guys are dead to me now. I was already leaning toward ending my time with y'all, but when you start actively promoting and contributing toward the execution of the unborn, you lose all support. Loved the ideas, loved the DRM free aspect, but screw you for this final straw. Gendo, what are your thoughts on at Jacob Fell's tweet?
I mean, don't support companies that support causes you don't like. I mean, that's fine. I think it's perfectly fine for the company to support a cause and for a customer to say, I'm not going to be your customer anymore because you support a cause I'm opposed to. That's fine. It's fine for him to
It's a
tell the company
measured
that
take.
because they should know it, right?
It's a
And
very
this is
measured
this
take.
is a this is a very hot button topic. People are very emotional about it, especially in the States. I mean, I think the States from where I'm sitting all the way over here on the other side of the world. I mean, I can see people speaking on Twitter and in spaces and writing about it, but I don't have insight on the street level. You know, I'm not part of that culture in that country.
Not in
But
the
it
street.
seems in general that this is a way more hot button topic in the US than anywhere else that I'm aware of. I don't know of any other country where this is such a thing that people think about all the time and talk about all the time and become really angry very quickly. Because in some of the spaces I've listened to on Twitter, if somebody just brings up this topic, and I don't know why, it's on their mind, so they bring it up, even though the topic might be
To be
something completely
fair,
different.
to be
And
fair,
as soon as
Gendo,
they bring it up,
Americans get angry quickly about everything. I mean, video games, movies, everything, man.
okay. So
Let's be fair.
you're basically saying they're like the Incredible Hulk, like they're always angry.
Yeah,
Is
man.
that true,
Always.
guys? Is that your experience? Because that's not my experience of the American people I've met in real life. But again, I'm not in that context. I don't have
I would agree that Americans are very aggressive and angry people. I mean, they can be friendly, but they can also be easy to push
I mean, just
and
look at how
make
they spread.
upset.
Look at how they spread freedom and democracy. They couldn't be angry. They couldn't be angry people. Ham, what's your take on this tweet?
Ass.
Dude, every time I'm coming up with topics, I'm always like, okay, I need to put one in where Ham's going to be like, no comment. Why are we talking
there's
about this?
just to me, it's just like, in
Oh
a way, you
man.
guys are, in a way, you guys are kind of right. Like the reason the reason that so many that you guys feel the way that you feel about Americans is because there are a lot of people willing in America to step up and say something, whether it's the correct thing or wrong thing. I'm not going to say all of Americans are like that, because there's a lot of us that kind of just sit back being like, this motherfucker is wild. But like for me, yeah, I just really don't have anything to say about this. I don't want to put up my foot in my mouth for any reason.
Yeah. Can you put your foot in your mouth? Do it.
No.
Okay, let's stop putting things in our mouths. Last
Listen,
notable
let me
tweet.
hang on before you go on. In the end, you don't have to have an opinion on the specific thing that they did the fundraiser for. It could have been for anything. Could have been for, like, I don't know, blind dogs or something. It doesn't matter what it was for. The interaction is fine. If a company is going to take a public stance on something, then there are going to be consequences to it, whatever that is. Right? It can be. Well, a lot of the stuff we think of as minor, like anything you can take a stance on, is going to make a small percentage of people really angry, and it can be something that you think of as unimportant. I don't know if you saw, Loke, but South Africa is about to change its censorship rules for video games, saying that no child under 10 years old can play video games without adult supervision ever. There's no such thing. They say there's no such thing as an appropriate for all ages video game. So even if it's Super Mario or
Even
something,
FIFA. Even FIFA.
doesn't matter.
Yeah, I saw that.
Oh no, she's a disrespectful bitch. But
I
Peppa
saw
Pig?
that on the group with my old schoolmates. They shared that. I was like, what? How? Why?
So like that's something that we have, is we actually have very conservative censorship and a strong desire for government control over media. Like, they forced Netflix to reclassify all their content using the South African Film Publication Board standards, not the US standards. So because we have different values, the country
Okay, I
has
think
different
that's
values.
fair. I think that's fair.
So,
But I don't think it's fair to say that no kids can. There's no all ages appropriate games. I think is
well,
ridiculous.
some of the stuff they come up with is really ridiculous. Like, everybody who owns a smartphone has to pay a TV license. That kind of thing.
Stupid.
Like the BBC. That was wild. That was
exactly. So everybody who owns who has a television has to pay a TV license legally, because that's the money they use to fund the public broadcaster, the SABC, which is modeled on the BBC, right?
Which makes sense.
But now people are no longer watching stuff on TV. They're all watching stuff on their mobile phones or their laptops or their tablets or whatnot. So some people don't even buy televisions, and they just buy large monitors with no TV tuners in them. And so what does the government do? Is they say, oh well, if that's the case, their strategy is, let's just tax everybody blanket to fund, instead of shutting down the broadcaster because nobody wants to pay for it. They just find a way to make everyone pay for it, whether they want to or not. So that's the kind of sort of mindset. So we're gonna there is no more E-rating. The Sensei is correct. There's no more E-rating for us. If you're under 10 years old, you only get to play a video game if an adult is watching.
Someone's supposed to know.
Luck enforcing that shit, though. But good luck enforcing that.
Yeah. I mean, it's like in Korea, was it Korea or China, where they had they had the curfew for kids. Kids aren't allowed to play like more than a certain number of hours. You can say that, but how do you enforce it?
You punch people. You train the kids to enforce it, and then when the kids tell the teachers, you come and arrest the parents and send them to education camps.
Okay, and with that, we're going to the last notable tweet. At Bounding Comics says Lollipop Chainsaw Remake announced and promises a more realistic approach to graphics. Fans fear censorship. Gendo, do you think that the main protagonist of Chainsaw Lollipop will suddenly have a burqa on?
No. I mean, usually I don't know. I haven't. I've seen that game. I didn't play it back in the day, so I've only seen some gameplay, but I know what the characters look like. Usually when there's this, because this I guess this kind of links up with what we just talked about, with different countries having different standards for what's acceptable and what's not acceptable. Often when you see like games from Japan get localized and they tone down some of the sexuality or some of the stuff a little bit, it's usually such inconsequential things. Like you'd have to, it doesn't affect anything about the core experience. So people have to take like a magnifying glass and compare frames side by side and go, well, the skirt was an inch lower in the original game and now it's like an inch longer in the new one, and that's horrible. I
It's
get
the end of the
I
world,
get the
man.
argument that you shouldn't mess with stuff through censorship that changes the artistic intent or the original, because you see that with movies and stuff as well. There's in some countries they go, well, you've got to remove that scene of two guys kissing, or you've got to remove this scene, or you've got to blank that part out because we don't like a kind of thing, and then it messes with the original artistic intent. But I don't think in general the people who are complaining about that kind of censorship care about the artistic merit of the thing that of the game in particular. That's
Okay.
not their. Yeah. So yes, in a sort of a broad sense, less censorship is better. Let people decide whether they find something offensive or not. If it's age rated, like anything that's rated for adults, in my opinion, just leave
Do
it. Just
whatever.
let's
Yeah.
do
Yeah.
whatever. If
I've
you
got
are old
10
enough
bucks.
to, yeah, then you can decide for yourself whether you want to see something or experience something or not. If it's for people who are under the age of, being allowed to make decisions for themselves, then take out what you have to take out. But what
All
more
right.
can you say? If I'm an adult, don't tell me what I can watch or read or play.
Okay.
Okay. Someone like
Damn.
CP. Oh, that was a joke.
Ham, I've got 10 bucks that says that Sony will put a lens flare on the game at that special area if the developers don't censor it themselves. Are you taking that bet?
How much?
10 bucks.
Sure.
Done. Thanks for paying for another month of PS Plus for me. Cozy, will
Uh,
they censor uh Lollipop Chainsaw?
does it? I don't know. I mean, does it really matter? 'Cause at the end of the day, it's like there are two conversations happening. It's either why would they bother censoring it? Like, how are they going to censor it in a way like that matters without completely changing? Because part of it is like you just have to accept that it's a game that sexualizes a high school girl. And if you
Mm-hmm.
accept that, then it doesn't matter. Then you have to be okay with that and be like, yeah, I like playing games that sexualize high school girls, and just be honest with yourself. Either you're
Uh,
okay with it or you're not.
real quick, I got like not bullied, but people spoke enough about it that I was like, okay, I'm not gonna buy the game because I was interested when it came out back in the day. And when people started talking about the whole, she's in high school, cheerleader, etc., and then I was like, oh, okay, so guess I'm not gonna buy that. So yeah, that's why I didn't get it, and I'm not sure if I'm gonna get it now. Ham, should they censor Lollipop Chainsaw?
No.
Okay, will you be getting it day one?
No.
Okay. Whew.
I don't care.
We
I don't
know.
care about this game, but like, I mean, exactly.
All
Like
right.
about the censorship thing. Like, I'm not with people switching up people's visions on stuff. Like whether it's foul or not, let the money do the talking. You know, let the money do the talking. Then, because then Because what I don't like about censorship, a big part of it that I don't like is you don't know how to scale that kind of crowd then. You know what I'm saying? Or to like look at, because like, let's say something foul comes out that I personally don't like at all. I would like to know how many other people around me are crazy. Personally. You know what I mean? I would like to know how many other people around me are just out of pocket for this kind of stuff and what areas and whatnot, because I don't know, those kind of analytics do help you. Hiding that is not helpful. In fact, it's very bad to hide that kind of stuff, because then you don't know how to read the crowd. You don't know how to read, you know, whatever type of people that like those kind of games. You know, I mean, like for instance, if somebody loves that game and loves a game that I'm offended by, then I don't want to listen to that reviewer anymore. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to listen to somebody like that anymore because they're looking at something or seeing something that I don't see or that I don't agree with. So like to like hide that like forever, like how would I really know the authenticity behind some of these folks? You know what I mean? I
Make
need
them
to know
out in
that
the
stuff.
open.
Yeah, come on outside. It's the weather's nice.
All right.
Let me say this. Let me say this.
Okay.
I think, you know, I would be very, very unhappy if like a book was imported from say from the States to here, and I open it up and I see that some words have been like blacked out or sections have been blacked out of it. Right? That would, but as you guys brought up,
Cheers, Mr. Chivalry.
when you're censoring something in a video game, either it's something that's major that you've taken out where everybody will notice, or it's something that no one would have noticed whether it was there or not. Right? So, like she said, why are you bothering? If it's a big deal, if it's like let's talk about like Grand Theft Auto 5, the torture scene in Grand Theft Auto 5, right? That was a big controversial thing. You can't avoid it. You have to go through with it. You got to do it. It offended some people. There was that Call of Duty level where they shot civilians. They eventually made that optional. You could skip it. Those are big deal things. They offend or shock a lot of people, and so they have to make a decision about it.
Options like that are good.
Options
At least
are
give
good.
me the option to, you know,
Yeah.
go through with this or not go through with this. And
I
it'd
am
be
never
nice to
skipping
have
the
that.
torture scene in GTA.
Give me a accurate description of the content, right, before I consume it, in the sense of what will be in it, right, and then give me the option to remove it, to leave it in, to have a tailored experience. One thing that's pretty cool with PC gaming on Steam is some games that have extremely violent or very graphic sexuality or anything like that. What they do is that the version you buy on Steam is censored, or it's you know suitable for certification. It doesn't have that content in it, and then you can install a third party, not a third party, but the developer will like provide a pack that you run and you mod the game back to the original uncensored version that they made. So and everybody's happy then, because people who are just browsing Steam and browsing the store, they'll never have to see the offensive material.
Yeah, that's like
People
Conan.
who want to see the original. Yeah, exactly. So you have the option of bringing it back. On console, we hardly ever get that option, and it's kind of weird that like Nintendo is like my Nintendo console is full of games that have got like adults only games, like you know stuff like Doom and like there's a lot of hyper violent games that have got on Switch, and Nintendo used to be the company that very much wouldn't put blood in Mortal Kombat, right? You had to have sweat or green blood or something on the SNES version of Mortal Kombat. Now Nintendo's like, you can you can play like risque visual novels or very violent games or whatever you want on our console. And now Sony's the one who's weirdly messing with stuff sometimes, saying, no, we don't want this game on our platform because unless you remove X, Y, or Z.
You either die a
So it's
hero, live long to be enough to become the villain.
Yep.
it's just weird times how the roles flip over time. But yeah,
Okay, quiz time, ladies and gentlemen. People in the chat, get your laptops ready to fact check all my lies. Here we go. Gendo's going first, obviously, but Cozy, you get to pick
Yeah.
which hand my battery is going to be in. Okay. So here goes. Which one?
And the one with the ring?
The one with what?
The ring.
Okay, correct. Cozy, you're going second. Ham, you're going last.
Okay.
Let's get ready, y'all.
I
It's gonna
mean,
cheat and win
before,
anyway.
before we start, Stankmo says maybe I'm insensitive, didn't think that torture scene was bad. For real, dog. For real. I did like, get a bit apprehensive during the scene, but I didn't stop. I did not stop. Okay, here goes. Gendo. God of War 2018 sold over 20 million copies. True or false?
oh, that's true.
Oh man, we're gonna have a fight over this one. That is actually incorrect.
Didn't it?
It's false. It sold 19.5 million. It didn't
Even
get
including
Oh.
the 5 million PC copies that sold.
as of January 2022.
Oh, okay.
What?
Yeah.
A long time.
So Gendo missed on the first one. Cozy,
Yeah.
here's yours. God of War will be released on November 9th, 2022. True or false?
True.
Cozy is the first one to score. Mr. Ham Solo, the defending champion. The champ is here. Okay, Ham. I gave you what? What's wrong, Cozy?
The question though, how was I supposed to not remember that?
It wasn't for you, Cozy. That's why we do the battery thing. Okay? It could have been Ham. Yeah, just
Okay.
breathe. Give it a minute.
I'll fight. You told me to
Ham,
calm down.
Ham, here's your here's your question. Cory Barlog was the cinematic director of 2013's reboot of The Tomb Raider. True or false?
Ooh, this is totally just off. I'm gonna say false.
It's actually true.
I mean, I
Ham
didn't
is
know that. I
behind
didn't
after
expect
round
that.
one.
Let's go.
After round one, Ham is behind. All right, let's get to it. Gendo, Matt Furlong was the CEO of GameStop before Reggie Fils-Aimé. True or false?
True.
False. He's the current CEO, so he couldn't have been like the previous one. So,
No,
Cozy,
I don't know who he is. So cool.
Yes.
I did mention it when I was talking about GameStop. I did mention it. Cozy, GameStop has stores in 16 countries worldwide. True or false?
You mean GameStop? There are GameStop stores or
Yes, it has representation in 16 countries. They have stores, they have brick and mortar stores in 16 countries. True or false? Worldwide.
false?
That is actually true. Wow, you guys are missing a lot today. Ham. Red. Oh, this one's going to be complicated. I'm sorry, Ham. Actually, it's simple. It is simple. Red and black are the colors that adorn the words in the GameStop logo. True or false?
False.
Wow. Okay. Ham actually got it right. Okay, so
Oh yeah.
Cozy won, Ham won. Okay, here we
Ham
go.
has to go pick up his child in like 10 minutes.
Yeah. Gendo, Darren Chung is the creative director of Skate. True or false?
True.
It's false.
God damn,
Who's
again.
Darren Chung? I don't know who that is.
Okay, let me come up back here. Darren Chung is the game director for Skate.
Cool. Which
Yeah.
is a game about skateboarding. It's wow, that's great.
It's right up your alley. Okay, Cozy.
Yes.
Full Circle are the developers of Skate. True or false?
False.
That's true. Damn, you guys are horrible today. Just terrible. Ham, the
Isn't Skate an
original.
EA game?
Yes. Ham,
Yeah.
the original Skate game was released on September 14th, 2007. True or false?
True.
Woo, Ham is in the lead. Guys, come on, step your game up. Gendo, itch, uh, itch.io announced the indie bundle for abortion funds on July 5th. True or false?
July 5th. False.
Correct. It was July 4th. Gendo has won. Cozy,
Yay. Oh.
uh,
One, not one.
itch.io made a little under $50,000 in the first day of the indie bundle for abortion funds. True or false?
Oh.
False.
Yep, correct. Ham, there are over 700 titles in the indie bundle for abortion funds. True or false?
False.
True. Oh, man. Okay. Gendo, Lollipop Chainsaw initially launched in 2012. True or false?
False.
It's actually true.
Oh, I thought it was older than that. Oh.
No. James, Cozy. James Gunn
Yeah.
directed Lollipop Chainsaw. True or false?
False.
Yep, correct. Cozy is now in the lead. Oh, this is going to be a momentous one if Cozy wins. Ham,
I'm not. I'm not
the,
gonna
lo-
lose.
the Lollipop Chainsaw remake will release in 2023. True or false?
True.
Ham and Cozy are neck and neck. Gendo, Diablo Immortal makes over $1 million per day. True or false?
True.
Gendo's got two. That was an easy one.
Is this the last
Uh,
question?
yeah,
Yeah,
we're on the
he's
last
got to
one.
go get his child.
Yeah, we're on the last one. Cozy, Michael Jordan has been the cover athlete for 4 other 2K basketball games before 2K23. True or false?
False.
Oh, Cozy got it right. Ham, this is just for you guys to be like, just for a tie. Don't mess it up, bruv.
Whatever. I don't care.
Uh, Stanley Pierre Louise is the
Oh, Lord.
CEO of Stanley Pierre Louise is the CEO of the ESA. True or false?
Fuck, I don't know. I'm just gonna take a shot in the dark and say false.
Ah, Cozy wins for the second time on They Said We Said. Cozy has won the quiz. Welcome, lady. Welcome. If you win by the end of the year, you know the prize. Wow. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, Cozy is the big winner today. Thank you to everyone that showed up on the chat. Matt Likes Games, Stank Ma, Nelson Gaming, Mr. Shiv, everybody. If I forgot you, I'm sorry. Sensei.
808. Too big.
Yeah. Too big. Everybody, thank you so much for watching. Cozy's our big winner. Ham, take us out, please.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a good show. Nice, smooth. Went really well. The chat was fantastic.
Smooth
Good
like
to see you
Tennessee
guys.
whiskey.
We will hopefully see. We will not actually see you guys next week.
Yeah.
If you guys want to check out me or Loke, we're gonna be on K Mega's show next Friday. But as of this show, we're taking the week off because I'm going to be out of town, so I will not have my computer, so I will not be able to run the show. So yeah, they said, we said completely is just taking a week off. So buying them six, no episodes this coming week, and bullshit, no episodes this coming week. So just a heads up to everybody, so you don't feel like you're missing out on anything. But be sure to check out the shows the following week, because we will definitely be having a show then. I'm still working out to figure out who's gonna all be on that show. I do have one person picked out for Tuesday, but not Thursday. Or what is that following week after this next one? Let's see, next week. Yeah, so
It's the
oh,
12th and the 15th.
okay, so yeah, I'm still kind of figuring those things out and getting some dates and everything knocked out. So you guys just stay aware. I'm gonna be posting that stuff on Twitter as soon as I get it all figured out, and then I will post the link onto YouTube so everybody
Cheers.
can
Cheers, Nelson.
hit the reminder and whatnot. But fantastic, really good to see everybody. If you want to catch me later, you'll see me on Sunday on the Game Drain with Matt Likes Games. Also, it's me, Twan, and Hard Days Mike. But it was really good hanging out with everybody. Gendo, thank you for coming back. Your sound of your mic and everything, fantastic. Everything was perfect. So
except you said gameplay for God of War is mid. That was not fantastic.
Mean, yeah, that was wild. But you know, that's his take. That's his take, and it is what it is. And I don't think he should conform.
Respect his choice, okay?
Yeah, it is what
his
it is.
Controller, his choice.
You need to stop, look. You need to stop. That was
unnecessary.
I
ain't started yet. I ain't started yet.
That was unnecessary. But anyways, you guys
Gendo,
have a.
Sorry, before we go, Gendo, where can people find you?
Oh, right.
Before we go.
Oh my goodness, I was about to make exit
find me on
stage
Twitter.
left.
Just find me on Twitter, man. At Gendo was right. Easy as that.
He's always right.
Except when it comes to the quiz.
Also, guys, try mealworms.
Terrible.
Mealworms are delicious.
Oh God.
Up, Cozy.
Please get us off, please. I'm not eating worms ever.
No, I'm good on that. But y'all have a wonderful rest of the day. Have a good weekend. We'll see you in a little over a week, I guess, or whatnot.
Yeah, on the 22nd. On the 22nd.
Yep. Peace out, y'all. See ya.
Ciao.
Woohoo!